Action.
And welcome back to the show. I'm Real Lance Roberts. Dr. Jason McKey from Whitsett Vision Group in studio today, and just talking a little bit about vision and getting better quality vision. One thing we always try to talk about here on the show is things to do to improve the quality of our life, spend more time with our family, preserve our capital, do better in running businesses, and of course, keeping care of our health is the most important thing, and we talk about that a lot. Because as we get older, we're going to spend a lot of money just maintaining our health. And it's always good if you're going to be having, a healthy lifestyle. You can actually see what you're doing. And that's why Dr. Jason McKey is here today. Let's go to John's phone call, and then we'll talk a little bit about the glaucoma as well. So, John, welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Thank you. I'm glad to talk to you. I have I wear glasses. I have progressive lenses, and I also have old cars. The other day, I was laying on my back underneath the old car trying to see something over my head, and the near part of the progressive lenses was on the wrong side. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't crane my head back far enough. Will the multifocal lens fix that?
Yes, it will. So the multifocal lens is nice because you can look wherever you want to, and your eye is presented with both the distance and the near focal points. You learn to use that range of focus regardless of where you're looking. You won't have to look up or down like you do with your current glasses, even when you're underneath one of those old cars.
So how does does the lens just have more give to it so the eye can focus it, or is it like a progressive lens in a pair of glasses?
It's a little bit like a progressive in that it has concentric rings. Not to get into the nitty gritty, but one of the things that happens when you look at things up close is that the pupil constricts. That lens has the concentric rings, which will allow the changing of the focal point when that pupil constricts to give you more of the near vision. And then as that pupil dilates to look at things in the distance, it switches to more of a distance focal point. So the physics become a little bit complex, but it essentially gives you a range of focus depending on where you're looking.
Okay, so as we age and our lens becomes less elastic, we lose a lot of that. And so by using that technology, we're able to get it back, sort of.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
Yeah, basically you get your vision of a 20-year-old back, and by the time and you're not going to outlive the lens. So that's the beautiful part. You'll die before you go nearsighted again.
Well, you don't know about that.
Well, this is partly true. And John, really, the answer to your question is turn your glasses upside down.
It does not work because they're on the wrong side.
Thanks for the call, John. Appreciate you.
Thanks, John.
281-558-5738. If you've got a question for Dr. Jason McKey, feel free to give us a call. I did want to talk about two things here real quick. One is quite a fascinating thing that when I came to see you originally and went through the test, I was left eye dominant. So when I go shoot, I'm right-handed, but I'm left eye dominant when I went, for instance, to go shoot at the gun range. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that I had astigmatism in one of my eyes. Well, you did this really crazy surgery with this laser, and I'll let you explain it. But it fixed the astigmatism, and now I'm right eye dominant.
So one of the things that we do in surgeries, we use what's called the Lens X laser. So we talked about cataract surgery now, or lens replacement surgery being all laser or ultrasound. The laser can be used to make small, relaxing openings in the eye that essentially gets rid of astigmatism. So astigmatism, I'm only going to mention this for about 10 seconds. It's essentially the eye being like a football cut in half instead of a basketball cut in half. So it's a little bit ovalized. And we can correct that with a laser right at the time of lens replacement. So you probably remember all these lights and shapes and maybe a little bit of a sound, but that was the laser correcting your astigmatism.
No, I'll tell you what I remember. You didn't do that, did you? You didn't have an astigmatism.
I don't think Brent had to do that.
Yeah,
he did not.
No, I'll tell you exactly what it feels like, or reminded me of. It reminded me of my brother and I back in the day when we were growing up. We had one of those vacuum cleaners, where you would pull the end off of it. You'd run around the house, chase him, and you try to stick. It's like, and it's like sucking on your skin. And that's what this thing's like. It feels like somebody just stuck a vacuum cleaner on your eyeball.
I'd like to think it's a little bit more gentle than that.
It's not. It's not painful at all. It just has that same feeling that there's this suction on the eye while this is going on.
There's a gentle suction placed on the eye, mainly just to keep it in place for the laser.
It's a Hoover vac. That's all it is.
It's a modified Hoover.
So, but it's fantastic because when it's over, I mean, it's the astigmatism is corrected, and again, it changed the dominance in my eye, which was crazy to me.
Well,
I'm a much better shot now, by the way, too, because my right eye and my right arm lines up.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
See, we didn't have to tell. We just kind of did that. That was value added right there.
Value added. So let's talk about two things I wanted to get to real quick. We've got a call with Ray, so I want to get to his call. But just very quickly, a lot of people deal with glaucoma, and either parents or themselves. And, it's a lot of people are kind of under the impression that kind of once you get the glaucoma, it's you're kind of done. But that's not really the case.
No, not at all. So glaucoma is probably one of the more frustrating conditions, but one of the more common conditions that we deal with. So real simply, it's where the pressure in the eye becomes too high for the optic nerve. And when that happens, it can cause progressive damage and loss of peripheral vision that in severe cases can cause loss of complete vision. The problem is it's never painful, and it's rarely painful, and people typically don't know that they have it. So you can be walking around with glaucoma, losing nerve tissue and peripheral vision and not know it until the later stages. So a regular eye exam will diagnose that. We check the pressure, we look at the optic nerve, and can tell you if you're at risk or if you have glaucoma.
Right.
And it's something a lot of people just don't understand that they have.
Right, and it's fully correctable. It's for the most part.
Yeah, so it used to be that the way glaucoma was treated was either with eye drops to lower the pressure, and if that didn't work, there were a couple little things that could be done. And then way on the other end of the scale were a couple fairly significant surgeries that could be done if you were in the severe category. Now we've got things that can be done either at the time of cataract surgery or as a standalone procedure that are more effective than using drops, and 80-90% of the time can get you off drops altogether if you have glaucoma. And if you hadn't, it would likely decrease your chance of ever developing vision loss.
Wow, fantastic. All right, let's go to Ray. Ray, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. How are y'all doing?
Good. What you got?
Okay, well, forgive me if y'all have already talked about this because I just started listening. When we're talking about multifocal lenses, please explain the procedure. Are we talking about cutting off something in the eye and putting something in its place?
So we don't technically have to cut anything. We do make a small opening in the eye, as Lance was talking about earlier, to put in the new lens and to use the ultrasound and the fluid to remove the old lens. But it's all done with ultrasound and fluid inside the eye. So there's no knives in the eye per se to cut anything out. That was kind of the old way of doing things. We don't need to do it that way anymore.
Okay, well, let me ask you. I'm 61 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I had perfect vision until my arms got too short when I turned 40, and it's been getting progressively worse. I have decent distance visions, but I work at a computer all day, and I need to be able to see. What's my 1,000-foot synopsis?
Yeah, Ray, welcome to the club. You are exactly what I was before I went to see Dr. Jesse McKey. My distance vision was okay, but I could not see my computer screen like you, and I do a lot of work with small numbers and spreadsheets and things, and I got to the point where I couldn't actually see it anymore. So the multifocal lens completely fixed that problem for me. Now I have perfect vision long distance as well as up close, read my computer, read my phone. It's all fine.
And we do have different types of multifocal lenses as well to customize each treatment to the individual
Yeah, I got
person.
the better one versus Brent.
Yeah, Lance got the upgraded lens. Brent got the base.
Mine's in black.
No,
There's no X-ray vision in Brent's.
Okay, well, if you don't mind me asking, ballpark, what does this cost?
Well, so it depends a little bit on insurance. Generally, we're talking around the neighborhood of $4,000 to $5,000 per eye. Flex spending and health savings accounts oftentimes do qualify as an expense. And certainly if there are visually significant cataracts in the eyes or any other problems, then insurance typically kicks in for at least a good portion of that as well.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks, Ray.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. Speaking of technology, and we've got just a couple of minutes here, but I'm just curious. We're talking about something now. Doing lens replacement that didn't exist 5 years ago, 10 years ago. What's the next generation? I mean, when are we going to get to just replacing the whole eyeball with something where the computer's already built into it and, like Terminator stuff?
So the biggest problem with replacing the eye generally is the nerve tissue. So the optic nerve in the retina, so far too complex for what we can do. There are some basic ways to restore vision in somebody with complete blindness. But that being said, it only restores vision to a basic level. When we're talking about 20/20 distance vision, reading small print up close, those types of things, I would say the next generation of lenses that we're going to see is just going to allow for yet a smoother range of focus, probably a better ability to see things real close, seeing a bug crawling down your nose, so to speak. Right now, if you get within 16, 18 inches, if you try to see things any closer, you're probably going to see some blurred vision.
Yeah. So, and that's a good question. I mean, so once you do lens replacement, can you do lens replacement again down the road?
Typically, the lenses should be viewed as a permanent procedure.
Right.
So it
but
is
if,
true.
if a better model comes out, can I upgrade?
It's tough to do. I would view what you got as a permanent procedure.
So you should.
We can't technically fix things.
I want the X-ray vision. When that one comes out, we're doing that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a popular one.
There you go. All right, Dr. Justin McKey, Whitsett Vision Group. Give them a call today, 713-365-9099, or go by the website, whitsettvision.com, or simply go by our website, lancerobertshow.com. If you're interested, just email me. I'll email you all his information, lancerobertshow.com. Stick around. The Real Investment Hour coming up next right here on The Voice of Texas. Don't go away.